Hi, and welcome to Tip Day. These are tips from a wedding photographer on how to make the most of your wedding. In this particular post, we're going to talk about the 10 best ways you can make the most from your wedding for your wedding photography. Okay, so we're going to start with an analogy. When you go to the beach, do you plan out that trip? Or do you just hop in your car and go? For me, if you're anything like me, I like to have as much as I can prepared so that when I get up in the morning, I don't have to worry about missing things. I don't have to worry about if I forgot something or slowing down the time frame to get there. I like to have things laid out and prepared and thought through. In the same way that you would do that for a trip, you're of course going to do things that would advocate and make the most for your wedding photography. And these are some great ways. One, it might sound silly, but hire a wedding planner. Like, as much as you're sitting there and you're probably thinking about your budget and what can do, a wedding planner is one of the best ways for you to make sure that you stick with your budget, that you have the most that you can get for the budget that you have. I once had a bride who wanted to save money and she didn't get a wedding planner, and she ended up doing a DIY wedding where she had to do a whole bunch of work and she was stressed out, and she ended up spending $40,000 on a wedding that she could have spent so much less because she bought things she didn't need but didn't realize she didn't need, and things that she needed she didn't have because she didn't know. It wasn't her career, wasn't her life. But a wedding planner can not only help you with your budget, but they can also help you with making the entire day stress-free and amazing. And on top of that, they can make it so that your wedding photographer can focus on their job. Because often when you don't have a wedding planner or wedding coordinator, the job falls on the photographer because you have to have an organized day for things to progress, for the photos to happen. But if you have a wedding planner, that photographer can solely focus on getting every picture you want and all the amazing pictures that you desire. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is you want to get engagement pictures with your photographer beforehand. Okay, I know I'm a photographer and I'm talking about this, but legitimately, just sit with me for a second. If you don't get engagement photos with your photographer beforehand, you have no idea what the flow and feel of that photographer is going to be. You don't have the built-in confidence to know that they know how to pose you or that you feel comfortable. You don't have a rapport or relationship built in. If you get engagement photos done with your photographer beforehand, it allows you to see their flow. It allows you to feel comfortable and for them to give you tips on what to do, and you get to experience all of what they're going to be like on your wedding day, but in a micro time frame where it's less stress and you get to feel like and build more of a relationship with them, which is only going to make the entire process easier, more relaxed, and amazing for you. All right, the third one, it goes back to making the most and planning it out. Have a good timeline. I sit with all of my couples and I make sure that they have a great timeline. If you have a wedding planner, they will do this amazing as well. But you need to sit down and make sure you have thought through the entire day. You need to make sure that you've given yourself buffer, right? A lot of times when you're getting your hair and makeup done, you're going to think it's going to take this amount of time. But often things take longer than you think they will. Something goes wrong, something is forgotten, and you need to make sure that you have buffer time in there, because otherwise the thing that's going to be cut back on often is the photo time. And the only thing you're going to walk away from this wedding with are photos. That's it. Like, you're going to have a beautiful cake. It's going to taste delicious. You're going to have so many beautiful flowers and decor and wonderful moments. But none of those things will resonate past memories in your brain. These photos are there to remind you and bring you back to that moment where you can relive it, that it can bring up those emotions and help you just sit and resonate in the gloriousness that was the start of your marriage. And so you don't want to have those impromptu mess ups that take away from that time frame. So build in buffer time so you're safe from that. Your photographer can help you with that, but even better, a planner or coordinator can help you with that. Linked, but not exactly the same, so it's a separate point. The fourth point is a first look. This can be very cause contention. It's a very personal choice. You need to make sure that it is right for you, but a first look, which is basically the idea of having an intimate moment before your wedding where you see each other for the first time so that you can get your photos done before your wedding is what a first look is. So it's the idea of you take a moment and you get to see the reaction of your spouse seeing you on your wedding day for the first time, and you get someone from a distance to capture those moments. So you have your big reveal, but it's in a private situation where the person can feel completely comfortable and safe to show whatever emotions they want to. Because honestly, a lot of times on the big reveal on a wedding day, your spouse isn't going to feel comfortable or safe to be publicly emotional. You're going to get a covered or masked reaction because they don't feel comfortable with that. And honestly, I don't blame them. I wouldn't feel comfortable that way either. But so first look, if you do that experience where you see each other for the first time in an intimate moment, this streamlines your day because it allows for you to have the same amount of time in your wedding day, but it gives you 33% more photos because it makes the progression of photos not redundant. It makes it so it's streamlined and you can get all of your photos done, even your family photos if you wanted, before your actual ceremony, so you can go directly into your reception with your guests. You don't ever have to have that awkward time frame of where the guests have to be entertained with something or that you're not there. You get to experience so much more of your wedding day and streamline the process and get all the photos you want and more. This goes to the next point, which is also linked to timeline again. You're going to want to front load your day. You're going to want to get a lot of things done on your timeline earlier in the day because this allows for more freedom as your day progresses. It allows it so that you have pockets and windows to fill in what you need, but you got rid of and got done all the things that you had to get done earlier in the day. So it leaves you, by the end of the night, you're going to have gotten, honestly, had a blast and danced, but your hair's going to shift and your makeup's going to slide and you're going to get a little, enthusiastic with your dancing, and the parts of the day that you're going to want picture perfect are going to be before that time frame. So when you're thinking about your photographer and when they're coming, you're going to want them to come in enough time to be able to get your details and get all those photos of all the perfect moments. And yeah, they'll get dancing, but you may or may not want them all the way till the end, depending on your preference of things. But if you're having to choose one side or the other to get the full expanse of your wedding story, you need to make sure that they're there at the beginning to get all those details for you. All right, which moves us directly into our next point. Have your details ready. This is a very simple thing that so easy to forget, all simple things, right? So you're going to want to have, I have a blog post specifically about this, and maybe I'll talk more about it on a different tip day, but there's a list of standard details that you'll have, and you're going to want to have them set aside. I suggest them be in a shoebox or in a bag that you have, and I ask that of my brides before I get there. But if you have all of those details collected and set aside for your photographer, it allows them to get every detail in a streamlined process so that they can get you all those photos without taking it too much time, so that they're also with you getting the details of you and the precious moments of you with your girls getting ready and all of that. The next part, the seventh point, is you're going to want to scope out your wedding location beforehand. So I do this for my clients. I go to the wedding venue before they're getting married, and I look at around and I find the places at the right time of day, the right time of year to know where it is that photos will be best. So when it's time to take photos, I can walk directly to that place. I know exactly where I'm going, and I cannot waste any time trying to find a place. But not all photographers do that. So you need to, if you're wanting to make the most of it, you need to scout out those locations. You need to see what you like and what you don't like and what will look good at the time of day that you are there.